Hello, and welcome to Guidance for Better Life. Today, we're going to talk to my guest, and he's going to share how truth did not set him free. Don't get upset yet. Until he accepted the truth. And if you think a little more about it, truth sets you free, but you must be receptive and to accept the truth. And my guest, Chris Comfort, which thank you for being here, he struggled a bit with accepting the truth he heard at a retreat many years ago, but over time he accepted it, and then it did free him tremendously. So I hope you stay tuned. Hi, Chris.
Hi.
So I don't want to offend anybody. You hear the term all the time, truth will set you free, and I'm fine with that. But my experience, and if you think about it a bit, that doesn't work if you don't accept the truth.
Exactly.
So truth will set you free. Absolutely, I believe in the one who said that. But you need to accept the truth and be receptive to it. Otherwise, it just bounces off.
Right, exactly.
So this is, didn't realize how long ago. You wrote a story we finally published in one of our books out of a dozen or so. I think you were in book 3. Back in 2003, 2004.
Yeah.
Wow, we're getting older. It was up at the retreat center.
It was.
At Guidance for Better Life. Well, maybe you can talk about it. I think I told you something, and I'm not sure you were accepting it first. And then you finally accepted over time, but I'll let you handle this part.
So we were in a class at the retreat center,
Okay.
and I think the topic was something along the lines of being a blessing to others and thinking
Okay.
of others. That was the general topic, and I was very enthusiastic about this. But at that time, I think I had a lot of obstacles to actually doing that on a...
What was specifically you were excited about something? I don't remember the exact phrasing. About being used by
the divine to be a blessing to another,
others.
yeah.
And that really got you excited.
That touched me, and still does.
It still does.
Absolutely.
And you've been doing beautiful with that for a lot of years.
One of the greatest joys in life, in my opinion, is to be used in that way.
And doing what God asked us to do through his prophet, and then being used by God to be a blessing to somebody else. I don't think it gets any better. Nothing more satisfying.
Absolutely.
So that was something you got excited about, but you had some stuff.
I had some issues at that point.
Maybe you should cover your issues.
I was deeply insecure.
Okay. And a lot of people are.
In ways that I don't think I was remotely aware of at that time.
I think I tried to point some out. Hence the not receptive initially.
And I think you saw that there was something between point A and B at that point, a lot of those issues, that insecurity, feeling not worthy, and a bunch of other things. And you just, I think in a very loving way, but very directly pointed out that I was really in my own way at that point.
Yeah.
One of the things that I remember you saying, used a sports metaphor about trying to keep looking at the score clock a little bit too much. Instead of just playing the game and doing your best and trying your best, I think I was so insecure.
I think you were very serious, and I think you said in the story, tense, a little too much thinking about yourself, which is looking at the scoreboard. Imagine a team, maybe football team on the field, and all the players spend all their time looking at the scoreboard. They're not going to put many points on that.
Yeah, they're not in the moment, and they're probably not able to hear the divine nearly as well.
And I think you were looking, and you can correct me, it's been a long time, and you're doing beautifully now, but you were looking at the scoreboard because you also had some vanity issues, and you want to see how you're doing. Am I doing good? And also maybe insecurity. You want to see good points on the board, if there is such a thing. Right. How am I doing? Am I doing good?
I think that was my coping mechanism for that unworthiness, to feel a little bit too much into myself.
That's understandable.
Yeah, so I think.
But that was a long time ago.
That was a very long time ago.
But I know in your story, you didn't quite receive or accept what I was trying to help you with. It took a little while.
It took some time.
Hence the story, truth sets you free, but not until you embrace it and maybe can. And you had time. You could take all the time you wanted. What was it exactly I said that was hard for you?
I don't remember if it was one specific thing. It could
A
have
whole
just
bunch,
been. It was
probably.
probably it was probably the directness of it.
Very direct.
It was just
And we
straight
get
to the point. It
point.
wasn't trying to make me feel bad or
No.
be mean, but it was just very
just
direct.
see, figure it out and get it fixed.
You saw it and you called it as you saw it. And my reaction at that time was to tend to close down a little bit
Yeah.
and sort of lick
I
my
think it was
wounds.
about you wanted love, but you almost pushed it away. Was that it?
Yeah. I was desperately, well, probably at that point, desperately wanted
Yeah,
love.
and you found
But I
love.
think I was just pushing it
Yeah,
all
which
the
is
way.
odd. I think a lot of people do. They want love, but in a weird way they push it away.
Yeah,
So you're not unique. You're not special. There.
not in that
I
way.
think it happens to a lot of folks. So what part of that was hard? Because I know in your story you listened, but it took you till you went home or later in the weekend to start kind of getting clarity in what I was trying to tell you.
I think once I went home after the retreat, I was able to relax a little bit in silence and
Okay.
take it into contemplation a little bit. And actually hear, I don't think I actually heard what I heard it at some level, but I don't think I
Okay.
really heard it. And after, maybe a few days over the next 2 weeks, I really
Okay.
heard what you said.
Okay.
And it actually resonated with me. It actually felt good to hear that because it felt like truth.
Okay.
And so I was able to relax and hear that. And I think that opened me up to a healing. I would call it a healing from those words. Just being able to look at
Okay.
it clearly and directly and not push it away.
Okay.
Maybe not in class, but on my own.
It took a little while, but
yeah,
that's okay.
it took a little bit of time to percolate.
So it did free you, but it took a little while until you became a little more receptive.
I
to it.
softened to it and was able to actually hear it and accept it. And I
Okay.
think that made all the difference. I think love is like breathing. It's best when you're relaxed and it goes in and goes out. And I think
Are you saying you receive love and you give love?
Exactly.
And I think you said something beautiful in your story, and you relax to where you don't really know you're doing it. It's just a natural,
You
ebb
stop
and flow.
focusing on what you're doing and just
or the
just
scoreboard,
do
or
it.
how you're
Exactly.
doing. It's just
Exactly.
like breathing. You don't really think about it. You receive, and then you learn to give.
Exactly.
What was the main thing? Way you wanted love initially, and there seemed to be a lot of blocks there.
hmm
Do you remember the main pearl of wisdom that helped bring the wall down between, you said, point A and point B? You wanted love, but you were kind of counterproductive. Do you remember? That's a long time ago. Do you remember what was actually kind of blocking you from accomplishing what you wanted?
I think it was unworthiness, and I think that
Okay.
unconsciously I was, even though I wanted it, I didn't feel like I was worthy of
Okay.
it and ended up pushing it away.
I would say out of 29 years of teaching, I'd say the majority, which is over 50%, probably more than that, initially folks feel unworthy of love, and especially when they start experiencing God's love. I think that's actually, unfortunately, almost the norm. And that might help some of you out there. It might be you want love like Chris did, and like we should want love. I think it's part of our DNA. God puts that seed in us, and you wonder why you're having such a hard time. You may have, at least worth, maybe pray on it. If you have a deep-seated unworthiness, then of course you don't deserve love, is what we're thinking.
Exactly.
And of course that's false. But there's energy down here besides, God's energy. There's the negative energy that really wants you to feel like you're unworthy. And you might even believe God loves everybody but one person, and that's you. And that's the other side, whatever you call that other energy, the negative. There's different names throughout history. The opposite of God loves it when you can't accept love, the opposite of what he has, because you feel unworthy. And if you're breathing, are you all breathing out there? I think so. Whoop, somebody fell down. No, if you're breathing, then you're alive. And if you're alive, the reason you live is because God loves you. That's why he created you. And he created you out of love. So if you're a child of God and you were created with love, you are by definition his child. And by definition, as a child of God, you're worthy of love. and all his children are worthy of love, as you were. But there was that block there because of unworthiness. And where you thought a little too much about yourself, or not just about, but too highly of yourself, is a defense mechanism for somebody that doesn't feel worthy. You start acting like you're really worthy of everything. And all those walls started coming down as you accepted the truth, kind of one by one. And now do you feel that your life is full of love?
My life is totally abundant and overflowing with
Can
love.
you receive as well as give love?
Absolutely. And it's
You got
joy.
a beautiful wife and family.
I do.
Your 3 children are amazing. People that know you, love you. And now I hope that you've achieved your goal. It's like breathing. You just love and you receive and give. And it's not a scoreboard. It's not trying to get ahead. It's simply you just love. And you almost do it effortlessly, hopefully by now. So, is there anything else you'd like to add, Chris?
I think recognizing that God loves each of us.
Absolutely.
And
God loves every one of his children. He may not always like what we're doing, but he absolutely loves us, and we do not have to earn his love.
And he loves us through our flaws and our faults, and he still will help us to get to where we want.
Absolutely. Anything else?
I think that's it.
Very cool. And I hope this helps you. If you feel unworthy and you've been keeping it to yourself, that's fine. But at least be honest with yourself. After teaching, like I said, all these years, I think it's way above 50%. Maybe, I don't know, I haven't taken a survey, but maybe over this many years, all hundreds and hundreds of students, I bet it's up 70 or 80% of people deep down, if they're really honest and they get time to, like Chris, to kind of see through the fog, people feel that. And that's not God. God doesn't want you to feel unworthy. You are worthy because you're his child by definition. But the other guy, the anti, you might say, the negative energy, loves it when you do not feel worthy of love from anybody, God or anybody else. God is truth and love and other things, and you are too. As soul, you're made from love. It's part of you. So you certainly are worthy of giving and receiving love. And I hope this will maybe open up something for you a little bit. Hopefully you're more receptive than Chris was a long time ago. But I'm a lot more gentle on screen here. I was a little more direct. But what if I'd been soft-pelling? Oh, you're doing great. You're just wonderful. Oh, you're fine. Would that have helped you?
Not at all.
No.
I wouldn't have grown like I have over these
Politically
years.
correct BS
Yeah.
and everything's fine is not a gift of love. I tried to give you direct truth as a gift of love. And that's what I hope you see today. So truth will set you free, but you need to be receptive and work to receive it and understand it. So thank you for watching, and I really hope this helps you break through from something. Without love in life, it's almost, you need the love. We all need love, and we need to give love. So thank you very much for watching.